The alien world of Sarath was filled with light and color, but not all beauty there was admired. Lyra knew this better than anyone. She was a prototype, designed to be perfect, but the other aliens called her strange, ugly even, because her eyes shimmered differently, and her voice sounded softer than the rest. Every day, she walked through the halls of the academy, feeling the whispers, the laughter that followed her. It was not cruel like fighting, but it hurt more, because it was quiet, constant, like a shadow. The leaders of the academy gathered one morning, their faces serious. Their decision was final. Lyra would be abandoned on the cliffs of Sarath's Red Mountains. The prototype that failed to shine in society would be left alone. No food, no shelter, only the harsh winds and the cold rocks. Lyra heard the word failure over and over as the announcement spread. Her heart sank, but she held her head high. She had survived before. She would survive again. Though deep inside, a small fear grew, a fear she could not speak aloud. Far above the mountains, a human ship glided silently. Captain Rian had been exploring the outer colonies, recording data about alien life. He saw Lyra from his ship, standing on the edge of the academy, the wind catching her long hair, and something in her eyes caught his attention. Curiosity, care, a strange sadness he could not explain. He activated his ship's long-range scanners, trying to learn more, but her life seemed in danger. He decided he could not leave her, not when she was so alone. Meanwhile, Lyra prepared for the journey. No one wanted her to survive. She packed a small bag with what little she had, every item precious. She felt the cold of the mountain cliffs and the sting of the wind as she took her first step toward the unknown. The other prototypes whispered behind her, "She will never return. She will freeze in the night. She is nothing." Their words stung, but Lyra focused on the horizon, on the hope that maybe, somewhere, there was someone who would see her for who she truly was. Rian watched from above, the human mind racing. He had read stories of alien prototypes before, but never seen one in danger like this. The ethics of intervention weighed on him, but his heart would not allow him to turn away. He activated the ship's lower deck, preparing to land near the cliffs. Careful not to startle the aliens, every second mattered. Because the guards of the academy were strict, they would not allow any interference, and failure would mean disaster. Lyra climbed higher, feeling the rocks beneath her feet, feeling the cold wind whip against her face. She thought of the life she might never live, the beauty she might never show to anyone who could understand it. Her fear was real, but stronger than fear was a small spark. A spark of hope that maybe someone, anyone, would care enough to save. Rian's ship hovered silently near the cliffs, its lights dimmed to avoid detection. He prepared the rescue plan, careful, precise, because one mistake could cost both of them their lives. The wind carried Lyra's hair like a banner, and in that moment, she looked like the beauty she had always been, if only someone could see it. As Lyra stepped closer to the edge, the wind stronger than before. Rian's heart raced. He knew he had to act now. The moment was fleeting. One wrong move, and it would be too late. His hand reached for the controls, and Lyra's figure on the cliff seemed to pause, sensing something unknown, something new, a force that could change her fate. And then the cliff below whispered danger, the shadow of the guard, moving closer, the wind howling louder. Rian's voice echoed in his mind, "Act fast, or lose her forever." The first step of the rescue had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. The wind whipped around Lyra as she stood on the cliff, her small figure nearly lost against the vast, red mountains. She felt the cold bite her skin, and her heart beat faster with fear. Every step she took seemed heavier than the last, as if the mountain itself wanted to stop her. Behind her, the academy guards moved cautiously, their eyes sharp, their weapons ready. They would not let a prototype leave, not alive, not ever. Above, Captain Rian's ship hovered silently, its engines nearly invisible against the darkening sky. He adjusted the controls, lowering a small rescue pod carefully toward Lyra. Every movement had to be precise. One wrong vibration, one wrong move, and the guards would see them. The pod's doors opened slowly, and a soft light shone down on the cliff, almost like a hand reaching out to her. Lyra hesitated, fear gripping her chest. Could she trust this stranger, this human who had appeared from the sky? The whispers of her people still haunted her. "You are weak, you cannot survive." But something in her heart told her to take a chance, a small hope that maybe she was not alone. Slowly, she stepped toward the pod, each movement careful, deliberate, as if the mountain itself tested her courage. The guards shouted suddenly, breaking the silence, and one fired a warning shot. The bullet missed by inches, kicking up dust at Lyra's feet. Panic surged through her, but Rhiannon acted quickly, activating the pod's shield, a bright blue light wrapping around her like a bubble, protecting her from harm. He extended a hand, steady and sure, and Lyra grasped it, her fingers trembling. The pod lifted off the cliff, with them inside, and the guards yelled in frustration below. Their voices echoed against the mountains. But the pod rose higher, faster, slipping through the night sky like a ghost. Lyra felt the wind rush past her face, a mix of fear and exhilaration. She had never felt so alive, so free, and yet the danger was not gone. The Academy would not let her go easily, and she knew pursuit was certain. Rhiannon guided the pod skillfully through the jagged peaks, weaving past rock formations with precision. Lyra clung to his hand, her trust in him growing with every second. She saw the care in his eyes, the determination to protect her, and it warmed her heart in a way she had never felt before. Words were not needed between them. The understanding was quiet but strong, a bond forming under impossible circumstances. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared behind them, alien ships emerging from the Academy's perimeter. They were faster, more advanced, and clearly designed to capture prototypes like Lyra. Rhiannon's jaw tightened. "Hold on, Lyra," he said, and the pod shot forward, dodging lasers that zipped past them with deadly speed. The chase was on, and every second felt like a lifetime. Lyra's heart pounded in her chest, but she focused, remembering the lessons of survival from her past. Every jump, every step on the cliff had prepared her for this moment. She leaned into Rhiannon, trusting him completely, and for the first time, she allowed herself to hope that she might live, truly live, beyond the mocking eyes of her people. The pod dove into a narrow canyon. Using the rocks as cover, the alien ships followed, but Rhiannon had planned for this, twisting and turning with skill only a human could manage. The gap widened, and the sound of their pursuers faded slowly into the distance. For a moment, Lyra allowed herself to breathe, relief washing over her like sunlight breaking through clouds. But even as the pod moved into safer skies, Lyra knew this was only the beginning. The Academy would not forget, her people would not forgive, and yet, beside her, Rhiannon's steady presence gave her hope, a spark that maybe, just maybe, she could survive this, and discover a life she had never dreamed of. The rescue had succeeded, but the real adventure, the one that would test their courage, their hearts, and their destinies was only just beginning. The ship's cabin was quiet, except for the soft hum of the engines. Lyra sat on the floor, her body trembling. Her alien powers were weak, almost gone from neglect. Her shimmering eyes lost some of their glow, and her voice, once clear and strong, sounded thin and tired. She felt fragile, like a delicate flower caught in a storm. Rhiannon knelt beside her, placing a small pack of nutrient gel near her hands. "You need this to recover," he said gently. "It's not much, but it will help you get stronger." Lyra looked at the strange human food, unsure at first, but hunger and exhaustion won over. She ate slowly, each bite giving her a small spark of energy, and for the first time in her life, someone cared for her without judgment. Hours passed, and the sky outside the ship turned from red to dark blue, dotted with stars. Lyra leaned against Rhiannon, feeling safe for the first time. Her heart, long cliff from mockery and pain, began to open a little. She spoke softly. "Why are you helping me? You don't even know me." Rhiannon smiled, a mixture of warmth and determination. "Because I know what it feels like to see someone in danger and do nothing." They spent the night talking, sharing small stories of their lives. Lyra telling Rhiannon about her academy, the teasing, the loneliness. Rhiannon telling her about human exploration, the planets, the stars, the courage it takes to face the unknown. Laughter came slowly at first, then more freely, like sunlight breaking through clouds. A bond was forming, a friendship built on trust. But even as she felt hope, Lyra knew danger was never far away. The Academy had sent a message through space, a warning that they would not forget this rescue. Rhiannon frowned as he read it, the words cold and formal. "Return the prototype, or face consequences." He looked at Lyra. "They are not joking. We need to plan our next move carefully." Lyra nodded. Fear and determination mixed in her eyes. She had survived mockery, she had survived the cliffs. And now she would survive this. 2 days passed, and Rian taught Lyra about human tools and machines. She was fascinated, her alien mind quick and curious. Every skill she learned, every small task she mastered, made her feel more alive, more capable. She laughed at mistakes, she celebrated small victories, and Rian watched, proud of her courage and resilience. In return, Lyra taught Rian small things about her world, her culture, her people. He listened carefully, realizing that understanding her was more important than knowing her powers. As they grew closer, a silent question lingered in the air. Neither spoke of it, but both felt its connection, the unusual trust, something deeper than friendship. Lyra, once mocked and abandoned, began to believe she mattered. She felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life, and Rian, who had come to rescue her, realized that this was no ordinary mission. This alien was extraordinary, not because of her powers, but because of her heart. One evening, as the stars shimmered like diamonds around the ship, Lyra touched Rian's hand lightly, a small gesture, but full of meaning. "Thank you for everything," she whispered. Rian squeezed her hand gently. "No, thank you," he said, "for trusting me." Their eyes met, and in that silent moment, the dangers of the academy, the universe, the unknown, all seemed smaller than the bond forming between them. But danger was never far, and Lyra knew the academy would not rest. The message of tradition, of law, of returning the rescued prototype, still hung over them like a shadow. Yet for the first time, she did not feel alone. She had someone who would fight for her, protect her, believe in her, and that spark, fragile but bright, would guide them through the challenges ahead. The journey had begun, the bond was growing, and the real adventure, the one that would test courage, hearts, and destinies, was only just starting. The calm of the ship was gone. A message arrived from Lyra's people, its tone formal, cold, and unyielding. The rescued prototype must return. By tradition, the rescuer must marry the rescued. Refusal will bring consequences. Lyra's eyes widened in shock, her fingers gripping the edge of the console. Marriage? She had never considered such a thing. Her mind spun with fear and confusion. Rian read the message slowly, his face serious. He understood the meaning immediately. The Academy's law was not just tradition. It was binding, and breaking it could spark war. I can't, Lyra whispered. I don't understand. I've never thought about this. Her voice trembled, and for the first time, vulnerability showed on her proud face. Rian placed a hand gently on her shoulder, steadying her. "We'll figure this out together," he said softly, though inside, he felt the weight of impossible choice as the ship hummed with tension. Every star outside seemed distant and cold, a reminder that the galaxy did not forgive mistakes easily. Lyra paced, thinking of her world, of the mocking eyes of the Academy, and of the life she had left behind. She wanted freedom, she wanted safety, and now she faced a tradition that felt like a trap, a law that could chain her. Even after Rian had saved her, Rian tried reasoning with her. "You don't have to agree now, but we need to know what they might do if we refuse. We have to plan." His words were calm, but inside, fear gripped him too. These were not ordinary people. Their technology, their power, their willingness to enforce the lit was dangerous. One wrong move, and both of them could be lost. Lyra thought of her moments with Rian, the warmth of his care, the laughter they shared, the trust that had grown between them. She realized something she had never felt before: connection, a bond deeper than she expected. But the law still loomed like a shadow. Could she accept it, even if her heart wanted to resist? The next day, Rian piloted the ship cautiously, a neutral space station, to communicate with the Academy. Lyra stayed beside him, quiet, observing. Every movement of the ship, every warning signal, reminded them both that time was limited. The Academy would not wait forever, and the law demanded immediate compliance. A sudden alert startled them. Scouts from the Academy had tracked the ship. "They're here," Rian said, eyes sharp on the screens. "We need a plan. If they board us, we can't fight all of them." Lyra felt a chill run through her. Her fate, and possibly Rian's, depended on a delicate balance between courage, cleverness, and trust. She stepped closer to him, voice barely above a whisper. If they force this, I don't know what to do." Rian held her gaze firmly. Then we do what we always do, we survive, together. And whatever happens, I will protect you. Outside the window, the alien scouts closed in, their lights piercing the darkness like daggers. Lyra's mind raced. Marriage, tradition, duty, fear, they all collided in her thoughts. But alongside that fear, a small spark of defiance burned. She had been mocked, abandoned, and nearly destroyed before. She would not let fear control her again. Rian started the evasive maneuvers, twisting the ship sharply, the engines screaming as they dodged the scouts. Lyra held onto the rail, her heart pounding, her trust in him absolute. The bond between them had grown into something unspoken, powerful, a force stronger than fear or law. And yet, the price of rescue loomed over them both. The Academy's law demanded marriage, and the galaxy had rules they could not ignore. Choices had to be made. Hearts and traditions clashed, and in the next moments, the courage of a human and the resilience of an alien would be tested like never before. The chase had begun, but the greater challenge, the choice between duty, freedom, and a bond neither had expected, was only starting to reveal its true cost. The alien scouts had finally stopped chasing them, but the weight of the Academy's law still pressed on. Rian and Lyra, the stars outside glimmered, calm and beautiful, yet the tension inside the ship was far from over. Lyra's heart raced as she thought of the tradition marriage demanded by her people, a law she had never agreed to, but one that could not be ignored. Rian steered the ship toward a neutral meeting point, a station far from both human and alien territories. We have a chance to talk to them safely, he said. We can show them you are more than a prototype, that you deserve freedom, choice, and respect. Lyra nodded, hope and fear mingling inside her. She had never imagined a human could fight not just for her life, but for her dignity. When they arrived, the council of her people awaited them, their eyes sharp, their expressions unreadable. Lyra stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. I am Lyra. I am more than a prototype. One, choose my own life, the council murmured, taken aback by her courage. It was the first time any prototype had spoken with such defiance, and it made them pause. Rian stood beside her, unwavering, a silent guardian. She is alive, capable, and deserves the right to make her own choices. He said firmly, your laws may bind her, but morality and courage demand respect for life and freedom. The council looked at him carefully, surprised by the human's confidence and honesty. A tense silence followed, the outcome uncertain. Then, one of the elders stepped forward, a long, graceful figure, their voice soft but powerful. Perhaps this rescue was not only an act of courage, but also of understanding. Perhaps we have been blind to what matters: life, respect, and true beauty. The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. Lyra felt a small smile tug at her lips, hope blossoming. The council deliberated, long and quietly, and finally, they spoke. Lyra may live freely. The human who rescued her has shown wisdom and bravery beyond measure. Marriage is not demanded, but choice remains her right. She may decide her own path. Lyra's heart soared, relief washing over her like warm sunlight. She looked at Rion, gratitude and admiration shining in her eyes. For the first time, they allowed themselves to laugh, a small, joyful sound that broke the tension of weeks. Their bond, forged in fear and danger, had grown into something neither had expected, a connection of trust, courage, and quiet affection. The human and the alien, two beings from different worlds, had found understanding and companionship. Rian offered his hand, not as a rescuer, but as a friend, and perhaps something more. Lyra took it, her grip firm, a promise in her eyes that whatever challenges came next, they would face them together. The stars outside seemed brighter now, the universe vast but welcoming, full of possibilities. As they left the station, Lyra looked at the endless sky and whispered softly, I thought I was alone. I thought no one would ever care. But you changed everything. Rian smiled, his eyes reflecting the light of distant suns. We change each other, Lyra. That is what it means to be alive. And in that moment, the adventure ended not with fear or mockery, but with hope, courage, and an unexpected bond. A human had rescued an alien, but in the process, both had discovered the true meaning of bravery, compassion, and trust. The galaxy was wide, the challenges endless, but together, they could face anything. The journey was only beginning, but one truth remained: clear humans, with their courage and heart, could touch the lives of others, and in doing so, change the course of destiny.